G'day everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome back to the GWS career mode. In today's episode we have the off season, so we've got our retirees, our trades, our free agency, not the delisted free agency because we didn't sign anyone in that, and a massive draft. You'll realise why I'm saying massive in just a few minutes. Also a massive trade period as well. I probably should have also pointed out it's a massive trade period. So we start out with the retirees, and we have none. We have no retirees. Last year, we only had one in Shane Mumford winning the BNF and then straight away retiring. This year, we have none. So, yeah, very lucky there. It's always handy. It shows we've got a nice young team ready to build on, and hopefully we can go for that three-peat this year. Players that we didn't re-sign. Ryan Angwin wanted way too much. Burgess, Pitane, Fullerton and Stone just booted out the door, and this one's a bit of a sad one. Sam Taylor, we lost Sam Taylor due to some salary cap issues. Yeah, we actually really were having some salary cap issues in the end, but yeah, so unfortunately we did lose Sam Taylor. We almost had to lose Perryman as well. We ended up managing to keep him, but we lost Sam Taylor, so that is very, very sad. But the good news is in this game, of course, you can, if you're not signing players and you're out of contract, they're all restricted free agents or like people you have to trade for, so you can just get a fair bit back for them. Of course, it then does dig into your salary cap, so a lot of the time I just go for picks with players like this because that doesn't dig into the salary cap even after the draft, or if it does, it's like a different salary cap for them, something like that, because I was very low on salary cap going into the draft, and now I still had enough to sign heaps of players. Now we move on to trades. So these are trades that I got offered and I rejected. So the first one is we receive Sava Radigalia, and Geelong receive Thomas, who I think is a gen forward, or maybe a mid forward if I remember correctly. And I rejected it because at the time when I got all these offers, I wasn't really looking for another ruck. Yeah, so I just didn't accept it. Plus Radigalia is not massively high rated in this game. So if I'm going to go for a ruck, I decided I was going to get one from the draft with high potential, nice and young type thing. So yeah, that was a rejection. The next trade that I got offered and I rejected was we would receive picks 17 and 71 from Carlton, and Carlton would receive picks 18 and 54 from us. This one's just not worth it. We're receiving pick 17, they're receiving pick 18, so it's only one pick better. And then they're also receiving pick 54, and we're receiving pick 51, which is 17 picks better. I know it's a long way later in the draft, but it's still a massive, massive difference, so I just rejected it. This one here was actually the first offer I got, and this was another one I rejected. The first offer I got, but I thought I'd put it last, because this is, like, what were the Swans thinking? Like, did they genuinely think I was going to accept this? We receive Sam Gray, gen forward. Sydney receive Bugaya. I mean, mate, Bugaya's a gun. Sam Gray isn't. Simple as that. But yeah, I mean, I think they're like not massively different in rating, but I'm pretty confident Bugaya's rated more and a lot younger anyway. So, don't know what the Swans were thinking there. So, of course, that was a massive rejection. Now we move on to a trade offer that I got offered and accepted. So we received pick 29 from Brisbane. They receive Ling, who's a gen forward, and pick 72. Ling only played, I think pretty confidently he only played one game because we picked him up in the draft. Pretty confidently he only played one game, and it was that game where I just played like everyone who hasn't played all season, which means like just so that everyone got a game and see how they went and stuff. And that was the only game he played. Didn't go too well. And pick 72 for pick 29. So honestly, I was pretty happy with that one. Now we move on to trades that I have offered and stuff, and this was one of the ones I was talking about earlier when it came down to salary cap, and it just freed up a little bit of space. I still think we won this one, but yeah, so we received Tom Stewart and picks 19 and 37, and Geelong received Canelio. So Tom Stewart's like 150 grand less, maybe, than Canelio. So it did free up a bit of space, and like I said earlier about the draft picks, it either doesn't go into the cap room or it goes into like a different cap room type thing. But yeah, so this one I actually still think we won because Tom Stewart's making up for the lost spot where we've lost Taylor due to salary cap. But I'm not gonna lie, I still think I regret this one a little bit. Canelio, vice captain, like Although he doesn't perform a whole lot, he gets votes here and there. But yeah, I don't know. I think I still regret it just a little bit. But at the end of the day, I do still genuinely think that we won this trade. So not mad about it. Now this one is a win if I've ever seen it. We've done a deal with North. We received picks 4, 40, 58 and 76. North Melbourne received Barber, who I think played like 1 or 2 games, Angwin, who was out of contract, Fullerton, who was out of contract, and Stone, who are all out of contract. So yeah, so Barber was the only one there that wasn't out of contract. So in my opinion, we absolutely won this. We got the 4th pick and then three other picks later on. So yeah, very, very happy with this one. Yeah, another one that I think we won all the trades. This year I don't even think there was many that were like 50-50. I'm very confident that we won all the trades. But I mean, yeah, that Canelio one I was a bit like regretful, but I still think we won. But this one, we received picks 25, 43, 61, and 79. So we're just yoinking their picks at this stage, just taking heaps of them. Actually, a lot of teams had like very few picks because we stole a lot of their picks. Essendon received Josh Tracy, who only played like 1 or 2 games, and Braden Bruce, who I was actually trying to get rid of last trade period anyway, and couldn't find a team for him to go to. So yeah, very happy with that one. Alright, another trade. We received picks 75 and 93, and Freo received Burgess, who again only played like 1 game for us this year, was out of contract, and yeah, so just moved him on. Picks 75 and 93. I mean, this one, we obviously won because he was out of contract, so if I didn't do a trade, then he was just going to leave and stuff like that, like leave for free and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, picks 75 and 93. You can't be mad with more picks, especially with this game. Like, I've got up to my scouts heaps this season, so I'm trying to get heaps of picks now. I can get good players like Bugaya. I mean, he come in like 78. At that Ruckman, I forgot his name. I did end up trading him actually. Spoiler alert. He come in like 79 or 80, and even in my Gold Coast Sunscreen I used to have in this channel, Frankie Postlethwaite come in like 82 or 83, and I had a ruckman in that, Hugh Edwards, who was also like in the 80s. So you can get some real good people just coming in first year from the draft. And now we move on to another trade with Geelong, where we received picks 1, 55 and 73, and they received Sam Taylor. So basically Sam Taylor's gone out of contract. We've given them Canelio for a couple picks and Stewart, and then later on down the road we're like, hey, you guys can have Taylor as well to make up for Stewart if you want, and we'll also take the first pick in the draft, 55 and 73. So, yeah, honestly, so they, out of the whole thing, received Canelio and Taylor. We received Stewart and like 5 picks or 4 picks or something like that, so including the first pick. So, yeah, big win there for us. Okay, and our last trade was a 3-way trade between us, Richmond, and Suns. So we received 5 picks. Picks 9, 10, 27, 28, and 46. And then we gave Richmond Murphy, who was like one of our top 10 picks last year. He's a ruckman. And Pickett, who we also picked up in last year's draft. They both only played like 1 game for us this year. Both didn't go great. Pickett's a mid-forward. And we gave Suns Pitane, who, yeah, we picked up last year, played a couple games for us here and there, but then Bugaya ultimately took over his spot. Yeah, so we've actually now given away all our rucks besides Bugaya and Flynn, so our 2 main, like, that play for us. So yeah, so we will need to look for some good rucks in the draft. Now we move on to free agency, where we picked up very well in the free agency as well. We picked up Petracca from Melbourne, Walters from Freo, and McRae from Bulldogs. So Petracca, Walters, both mid-forwards, McRae a midfielder. So I don't know how well this is going to work. You know, we've gotten rid of 1 midfielder and brought in 3. So yeah, going to be very, very interesting. Yeah, no delisted free agency. Like I said, we didn't pick anyone up in delisted free agency. But yeah, those are the 3 we got from free agency. It's 3 very good players. I think Petracca and McRae will definitely be in the side all year. Walters is probably more a chance of being in and out a bit. Yeah, he might be a bit like a Hoskin Elliott, comes in to start off the year, kills it, and then unluckily, gets dropped. And now we move on to the draft, where we have a massive 26 picks, including 4, I think it was, top 10 picks. So massive draft that we're about to have. So these are our picks. I'm not going to go through them all because, I mean, there's 26. well, I'm going to go through them all when the players come, but I'm not going to read them all out now, so feel free to pause and have a look if you want. So yeah, we've got 4 top 10, 5 first rounders. Yeah, absolutely insane stuff. Alright, who we picked with our top 10 picks. The first pick in the draft went to Kelly, who is a general forward. Pick 4 went to Gardner, who's a mid. Pick 9 went to Griggs, who's a key forward. And pick 10 went to Hogan, who's a ruck, which I did say we were looking for maybe like 1 or 2 rucks. I mean, we have 26 picks. But yeah, so there's who we picked up in our top 10. Now we move on to our other first round picks. We of course only have one. Pick 18, Wood, another gen forward. I don't actually quite know if this is how it works in real life, but in AFL Evolution, each round just has 18 picks, and it just starts out with like every team has one depending on where they finish, of course, and then through trades and that it'll of course shake it up a bit. But yeah, in this it's just 18 picks depending on where you finish. Each team has one per round to start off with. Now we move on to our second round picks, where we have 6 from a possible 18. So pick 19, we get Zerk Thatcher, who's a general defender. Pick 25, we get Dom, another gen forward. Pick 27, Smith, key defender. Pick 28, Cole, key forward. Pick 29, so we've had 3 picks in a row and 4 out of possible 5. Pick 29, Sidebottom, who's a ruck, and then we have a little break to pick 36, Malcolm, who will be a midfielder. Now on to our third round picks, where we have 5 again, just like the first round. Pick 37, we pick up Cole as a gen forward. Pick 40, Range, mid forward. Pick 43, Formosa, a general defender. There was a couple times where I just picked someone if they had like a kind of cool last name. I mean, I had 26 picks. I was going to get at least a fair few good players. I think I could sacrifice a couple picks, but actually most of the time they were still pretty good players anyway. So yeah, pick 43, Formosa, general defender. Pick 46, Mays, key forward. And pick 54, Rashawn, something like that, who's a midfielder. Now we move on to our fourth round picks, where we've only got 3, but we have one very, very special pick. So pick 55, we pick up Vandenberg, who is a key defender. Pick 58, Ford, who's a mid. But this is our very special pick. We pick up, I don't know what his first name is, but it's Jay Bugaya. He's a key defender, and he's Eddie Bugaya's little brother. So hopefully he can burst onto the scene just like his brother did in his first season last year. That's going to be awesome. Hopefully he has a couple good games in the VFL, improves pretty quickly, and he might even be able to sneak in for a couple games with his brother. That would be the absolute goal. Now we move on to the 5th round, where we have 5 picks yet again. So pick 73, Wardlaw, pretty cool last name, general defender. Pick 75, Middleton, key forward. Pick 76, Alabakis, who's a mid, another pretty cool name I thought anyway. Pick 79, O'Neill, who's a mid forward. And pick 90, Kirby, who is a midfielder. So yeah, so it's always nice to be getting those picks in, and there was a couple of pretty cool last names in there. Now we move into the 6th round, where we have pick 93, Way, that's who we picked, Way, who's a mid forward, and pick 108, the last pick in the draft. But we already, so on this game, the max list, I don't know if there is a max list in real life, but the max list is 60 on this game, and we'd already maxed it out with all our other 25 draft picks. So unfortunately, that's where the draft ended. We didn't get that last pick in the draft just to seal the deal, but no. So that's the end of the draft. Massive episode. We had some big trades. We had some massive free agency pickups, and we had 26 picks. Well, 25 players picked up in the draft. So on the back of that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of this career mode, which will actually be the start of Season 3, Season 3 is going to be a little bit different, which you'll see in that episode.